What's up, y'all? And welcome back to episode 30 of That's No Moon Pod. I gotta be honest, not feeling the best right now. I don't know what it is. Um, I wouldn't say I feel sick necessarily. I just feel lethargic, kind of just wanting to lay down all day type of feeling. Um, Woke up a little early, went to bed kind of early last night actually. I took a late trip down to In and Out, got me two double doubles and some fries, and kind of went to town on that. Didn't really eat much all day yesterday, so that kind of saved my life last night. But that might have had something to do with the way I'm feeling today. But with all that being said, I'm here, episode 30. We back again. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Um, in today's episode, I wanted to talk about some Star Wars originally. Um, but right now the things going on in Star Wars are kind of the basic things that are going on when it comes to, Natalie Portman supposedly is interested in coming back now. Um, Kathleen Kennedy still don't know what she's doing. Indiana Jones 5 looks to be kind of doo doo. So hopefully James Mangold is safe and secure with his upcoming Star Wars film still, if Indiana Jones flops, if you will. Um, to be honest, I kind of hope it does because, well, one, Kathleen Kennedy will kind of have to take the hit on it, and maybe that kind of starts to shake things up behind the scenes with who's running Lucasfilm. Um, Probably not, but wishful thinking, like always. Gotta have hope. Um, yeah, that whole Natalie Portman thing kind of came out of nowhere, and I think now that she's kind of at the point of her career where she's not necessarily the one that is a big box office draw, I would say, or maybe she's been there, done that. She's a legend in the acting community for sure. Um, she is Queen Amidala though, and if the Queen wants to return, then you gotta let the Queen return. And I think Star Wars fans would absolutely freak out to see Natalie Portman in some form of Padme Queen Amidala wardrobe attire. Um, Especially if they throw her in with Hayden, Ewan McGregor, get them all three in a scene together because they really dropped the ball with not having Luke, Han, and Leia in at least one freaking scene in the sequel trilogy. But you still got plenty of time to do it with Hayden, Ewan, and Natalie Portman. So don't drop the ball on that. But they probably will, right? Hopefully not, though. Hopefully not. Um, I'm not sure if I talked about this yet, but RIP to the upcoming villain in the Ahsoka series. Um, it's crazy when I first saw that Ray Stevenson had died. I was like, I don't know. Like I said, there was just the news on Star Wars recently has been all over the place, and then you get the sad news that Ray Stevenson has died before we even get to see his work in the Ahsoka series coming up. Um, it's just sad that he won't get to see his performance, and I think that just by the look of his character and the people they got behind this show, Dave Filoni, and just all the setup that they've had to tell this story, I think Ray Stevenson's gonna have a really cool character arc, and I think he'll steal the show with a lot of the scenes that he's in. Um, but R.I.P. Gone too soon. Can't wait to see his performance. I know that he's a respected actor, been in the game for a long time, and um, I think he's really going to show his abilities on camera whenever we finally get the Ahsoka series. Um, yeah, I mean, like I keep saying, it's just the news with Star Wars has been up and down, weird, just like always. Um, Supposedly that open world Ubisoft game is supposed to come out next year. So, I mean, if they could pull that off, because supposedly uh, GTA 6 is supposed to be coming out sooner rather than later as well. So, if Star Wars wants to kind of jump on that train before GTA comes out, they're going to try, because it's kind of like how um, we got Jedi Survivor right now, and not even 2 weeks after Jedi Survivor, everyone's talking about the new Spider-Man game. So, I mean, it depends on how they play it, but I mean, with video games now, it's just like movies with how competitive each one is going up against each other, especially when they have kind of the same fan base, if you will, with Star Wars, comic books, Marvel, DC, open world, next gen. I mean, come on. Um, I'm not going to talk about AI yet. Again, uh, I'm still holding out on it. I saw that Lex Friedman, if you don't know who Lex Friedman is, he's a very popular podcaster. Um, I know he's like a robotic engineer. He's been on Joe Rogan a bunch. He wears the tuxedos. Um, he said he's going to be interviewing Mark Zuckerberg, and the main topic will be AI. And those two guys together in a room talking about AI is kind of what you would want for someone to talk about AI on a podcast. Um, Me, I don't know anything about AI. I just know that you talk to it and it talks back, um, which is crazy to even think about. But I know all the things that it could do with the drawings, how it could just kind of make these generated images just by you typing words in it. We all have heard the AI Drake and the Weekend songs, I'm sure. Um, and it's just the beginning, right? So for me to kind of jump on a pod before I kind of fully get a grasp of what exactly is going on with AI right now and where it could be within the next 10 years, you know. Um, I'm only bringing this up because I had just seen Lex Friedman say that he was going to interview Mark Zuckerberg, and I was joking with some friends yesterday, um, just texting in the group chat about AI for some reason, and um, one of my buddies, he works a lot of overtime at his job. He's a like a customer service representative type deal, like taking calls online and on the computer all day. But he gets a lot of OT, and I was saying that he's getting it in as much as he can because AI is coming for his job pretty soon, like it is for a lot of people's. Um, and I had another friend in the group chat laughing, saying how he's a welder and he always jokes about, you know, telling us to go learn a trade, become a welder or something like that, and how he's working 20-hour days every week. And I tell him AI is gonna do what you do in your 20-hour day in 20 minutes by 3D printing or some way of AI generating some kind of welded material. Um, and we're all just cracking up because um, AI is coming for our jobs, y'all. It's just what it is. Um, but I'm in no place to go into full details on AI yet because I don't know a damn thing about it. And I'll wait until I hear what Lex Friedman and Mark Zuckerberg have to say about it on Lex's upcoming podcast. And once that comes out and I kind of dive into it and I feel like I kind of got a better grasp on the subject, I'll get back on here and chop it up with y'all for as long as I can about AI because I think that's the new hotness. It's the hot topic. Um, but just because it is, I don't want to make a whole video about it and not fully understand anything about it yet. So that's coming soon still. Um, I guess I'll close out this episode with what happened today. If you're into the whole UFO, UAP kind of community on UFO Twitter, or if you just kind of follow the subject on Instagram or YouTube and just kind of, you know, if it pops up in your suggested, which I feel like it doesn't as much as it should, right? Even though aliens and UFO videos do really well on the internet, like they always have and always will. Uh, it's weird sometimes, unless you're on Twitter, on UFO Twitter specifically, um, the things that will pop up on your feed are just random news clips or, you know, clickbaity news articles trying you to click the link and go subscribe to their website and whatnot. Um, Today, NASA had a hearing talking about UFOs or UAPs. NASA, talking about UFOs. What could possibly go wrong, right? So there's this whole conference going on, them talking about UAPs and certain things being seen in the sky or whatever, right? Just the typical kind of run of the mill um, NASA type stance on UFOs and UAPs. Um, so it's like, what exactly is NASA doing about the UAPs, or what do they plan on doing with UAPs? Because right now it just seems like we don't know what NASA's role is in this whole phenomena. We know that they obviously withhold information and footage from the public. We obviously know that they've cut off live feeds of foot, video footage of weird maneuvers of objects, lights in space flying around um, our satellites up there, um, cutting off live feeds of audio communication from astronauts and all the people that are up there doing their spacewalks. Um, with the power that NASA has, and with the obviously they are who they are for a reason. Um, but if they were to get on board more with the whole phenomena and kind of take a stance on, we don't know what it is that are flying around our airspace or around our atmosphere, but whatever it is, we need to figure it out, because who's to say that whoever it was that said not that long ago about there being a possibility of a mothership just kind of hovering right outside our atmosphere at all times and just continuously sending down probes to kind of watch over what's going on, and hopefully none of them fly over a base that is having bad weather that day and get struck by lightning or whatever. Hopefully they're all do what they're supposed to do and collect intel and bring it back up to the mothership. Now that's a crazy thing to even imply, right? Especially coming from someone with some credibility to him. Um, but NASA, everyone knows NASA stands for, right? Never actually say anything. And that's pretty much what this whole kind of public meeting was. They just continue to kind of dance around the subject. Um, and it's weird because you would think, right, that the people who space to them is everything, right? And what goes on out there and what can go on out there. But yet, there's these things that are supposedly showing incredible technology that we cannot create ourselves, and doing things in our atmosphere and outside of our atmosphere, even that we can't possibly explain besides it being some kind of space junk or like balloons. Or it could just be some satellites, right? I think that's kind of what they really want us to believe. Everything going on up there is that it's just space debris, satellites, and balloons. But if that were the case, right, don't you think the case would have been closed long ago? But here we are, 2023, going stronger than ever with trying to get answers from the people that know the truth but are withholding information to the public. Um, I'm sure everyone has seen crazy UFO footage of plenty of the Voyagers or any of the space missions with you could just see a object or a light in the background flying while these astronauts are in space, and this thing is just out there flying, maneuvering, and you want us to believe that it's just space junk or it's a satellite. Or when all the astronauts who've had their feeds cut off reporting back to NASA saying that there's an object out here that's kind of following them. They have precautions and rules that they have to follow. I'm sure if they ever see something out there, right, do not say the word UFO. Or if anything like that, I'm sure they have some kind of feed or button that they press that sends a secure line or feed to someone that makes sure that whatever they're trying to explain out there doesn't go public. And there's been plenty of other astronauts throughout time that have come out and said, Edgar Mitchell, of course, um, Buzz Aldrin had always said some crazy things in his time, and those are the people like the Marines that Jeremy Corbell had released the footage of them recording the triangular object in California over their military base. When Jeremy Corbell makes his new episode of Weaponized this past week, and he kind of has all these um, Marines come out and tell their version of the story of what they saw, and these are the type of people who, when they come out and say exactly what they saw and what the people that were with them saw, is just like when an astronaut comes out and says some crazy things about something's flying out here with us or something about UFOs. It's hard for me to just throw out completely what they have to say, people like that, and turn to whatever it is that they're trying to explain into being some sort of balloon or satellite. It's pretty hard for me to, you know, take away their credibility for what some random dude on Twitter who spends way too much time trying to debunk something. Like, why would I listen to some random when I could hear it from the source, right? But like I said, NASA's gonna NASA. They're not gonna say nothing. But I think the more that the pressure is applied and just the more people that we get coming out and talking about their experiences and just kind of giving their opinions, the subject will never die until the truth is revealed. But I still think we got a little ways to go until then. But hopefully not, because like I said, go listen to Jeremy Corbell's and George Knapp's new podcast, Weaponized. They dropped this week, where they talk about the footage that they released last week and how that kind of stirred up a whole storm with people coming out trying to debunk and this and that. But like I said, it's things like that when they get released and they have people with credibility giving their side of the story, and then you got these NASA folks dancing around questions and acting like everyone involved that deal with the UFO and UAP subject are all morons and can't tell whether or not someone's lying, or like we've never heard all these other different stories from different people throughout time, and then here's this random person saying that no, all that was false. It's like, okay, guy, But we all have to make our own decisions. And let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think that whatever it is that's flying around in our airspace, in our atmosphere, could it be explained easier than what we're actually trying to do? Trying to come up with some kind of crazy extraterrestrial explanation? I think it's more likely that there's another form of NASA, obviously not as grand in scale, but another private contract company that makes spacecrafts that were reverse engineered, and they run test flights all the time, especially around military airspace, over oceans, maybe military bases. Uh, there's a lot of space on this planet, and with all the nuclear bombs that were dropped throughout time, and how doing all that didn't completely kill everyone on this planet. I think it's possible that some secret contract company can possess multiple extraterrestrial flying vehicles and reverse engineer them and run test flights on them weekly, and they stay in the shadows. Their name is probably something that sounds like I don't know, some kind of engineering company that would sound basic to an average person, but in reality, they're kind of doing what NASA would be doing if they weren't in the public eye as much as they were. But that's just a guess by me. Um, Secret bases, secret tunnels, underground bases underwater, in mountains, in Antarctica. Who knows? Bermuda Triangle. But I think that's all I got for this episode, y'all. To be honest, I feel a little bit better than I did at the start of this episode. I took a nap earlier, got up, took a hot shower, and got right on the mic and started recording for y'all. So, whoever's listening to this, I appreciate y'all. You made me feel a lot better than how I felt 30 minutes ago. Um, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitch, y'all. I be playing Madden all the time on there. Still streaming Jedi Survivor. I'm kind of taking my time with that game, to be honest. I still don't know any of the spoilers, thankfully, but with a game like that, it's just kind of one of those things where, like Madden, I could jump into Madden and just start playing it, right? It's like, but Jedi Survivor is kind of like, I'm gonna be playing that thing for at least an hour and a half, at least. And sometimes I'd rather just jump in and play a game or two of Madden. But still, follow me on Twitch, y'all, at Admire My Moonsault. Follow me on IG at Admire My Moonsault. I still be posting comics on there every week. I got a couple of comics that I just got. I got Batman 136, which if you haven't been reading the new Batman run, it's episode or issue 136, so this run's been going on for a hot second, but even still, right now, it's hotter as it's ever been. We got the last issue of the Punisher coming out this week, and I've said this in multiple other podcasts, but if you're trying to get into comics, please pick up the newest Punisher run. I believe it's 12 issues. This is the 12th issue that's coming out today. Um, Pick up that whole run. It's crazy from start to finish. I don't know how it's gonna end because I haven't even read it yet, but it's gonna be a banger. Um, and yeah, follow me on IG, follow me on Twitch, share this with your friends. Um, and yeah, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's week. Y'all stay safe, and I'll catch y'all on the flip. Peace.